You know what's strange when Double Bubble packages a half of a gumball? You know what else is strange? The main character of today's game, Q*bert, for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Let's go ahead and take Q*bert, pop it in my NES, and see how it holds up today. Let's go to the game. Q*bert was published under Konami's Ultra Games label and carries a copyright year of 1989. It is based on the popular 1982 arcade game made by Gottlieb. According to the manual, Q*bert is stuck in a time warp and is now trying to change the colors of the squares on the Tasmanian pyramids so he can escape the time warp and return to playing Don Johnson's stunt double. Seriously, that's what the manual says. I have no idea what the manual writer was on when he wrote that. Q*bert is a single-screen, isometric, arcade-style game with some puzzle elements. The game can be played with 1 or 2 players alternating and has one standard mode of difficulty. When you start your game, you can actually customize the controls. For instance, to make Q*bert jump diagonally up and to the right, you can either have the controls set up so pressing up will do this or pressing up and right will do this. I like using the setup where pressing up moves you diagonally up and to the right and holding the controller diagonally so the D-pad looks like an X instead of a plus. You can hold down a direction to keep Q*bert hopping that way, but you need to be careful because if Q*bert ever jumps off the pyramid, he will lose a life. The game is comprised of 9 levels, with each level containing 4 stages. The goal of each stage is to change the tops of the cubes into the destination color, shown on the top left portion of the screen. To change the color of the top of a cube, you simply need to jump on it. In early stages, all Q*bert has to do is jump on each cube once, but in later stages, Q*bert will have to jump on them twice. And some stages will penalize you if you jump on a cube too much, either by having it go back one color or to the starting color. Once all the cubes are the correct color, you move on to the next more difficult stage. If you manage to get through all 36 stages, you will actually beat the game with a congratulations screen at the end. Standing in between Q*bert and his goal are several enemies. There are red balls and purple balls that will cost a life if they touch Q*bert. The purple balls also turn into the deadly Coily the Snake. It's possible to get rid of him and earn 500 points by jumping on one of the single-use whirly discs that takes Q*bert to the top of the pyramid and having Coily jump off the pyramid trying to get to Q*bert on his disc. There's also the purple Ugg and Wrong Way who jump around the sides of the cube. Sam, who's green, can't hurt you, but can be a nuisance when he changes the colors back of the cubes he hops on. Touching him will get rid of him and earn you 300 points. There's also a green ball that if you touch, you will get 100 points and temporarily freeze the enemies. You also earn points by changing cube colors and completing stages. You start the game with 5 lives and can earn an extra life at 6,000 points and every 12,000 points after that. The game also allows you to continue 3 times after you lose your last Q*bert. Graphically speaking, the game looks nice and colorful and pretty close to the arcade version. I thought the sounds and music, while minimal, were pretty good as well. And the game is pretty family friendly except for the fact that it might be too hard for younger gamers. Oh, and Q*bert apparently swears when he gets hit, but all you hear is gibberish and see a thought bubble filled with random symbols. For all I know, he's saying,
"I wish I was watching the No Swear Gamer instead."
At the time I researched on eBay, loose copies were going for $7 to $11, complete copies were going for $15 to $42, and one new copy sold for $121, including shipping. So what did I think of Q*bert? Well, as I mentioned in episode 295, covering Q*bert on the Atari 2600, I actually like the character Q*bert more than the game itself, due mostly to the isometric style and control scheme. Too often when I play Q*bert, I make silly mistakes simply because my brain gets confused at times playing the game. I will say that I like how the game allows you to change the control setup, allows you to continue, and even how it has an ending. However, I wish this version had some different difficulty options. Overall, I found this version to be almost arcade hard, and when I get a home version of an arcade game that was designed to drain quarters, I prefer it if it has some easier game modes. I actually enjoy the 2600 version better since it has a slightly easier mode that better suits my skills, even though this version sounds and looks better. Overall, the combination of the high difficulty and isometric view make it unlikely that I will return to this version of the game. So where am I going to rank Q*bert? Well, let me say that fans of the arcade game might really like this version, but for me, it's going to be somewhere in the mid-20s. I did enjoy Anticipation more at 25, but I would rather play Q*bert again than Star Force at 26. So out of the 41 NES games I've now reviewed, Q*bert is scribble speaking into the 26th position. Fans of the arcade version might like this version, but personally I'd rather play the 2600 version. So what do you think of Q*bert on the NES? Whether you agree or disagree, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Also feel free to click the like and subscribe buttons. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/NoSwearGamer for more information. I'm also a member of the Retro Junkies Network. You can find more retro podcasts and videos at theretrojunkies.com. Thank you for giving me a little part of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode of The No Swear Gamer. Take care and watch out for little purple men who jump on the sides of walls.